The hero named Sora lay lifeless among corpses, the legendary holy sword still glowing beside him. But then, his eyes flew open, burning with a crimson light that did not belong to any human.
This body, not mine, but it will serve.
He rose smoothly, the holy sword, feeling foreign yet obedient in his grip.
The boy who was supposed to kill me is dead. I am now wearing his skin.
A cold smirk crossed his face. The demon lord had returned. Without hesitation, he strode toward the distant demon fortress that had been his home for 8 centuries. His own army would soon kneel to their greatest enemy, believing him to be their savior.
Every general, every soldier, I will erase them myself.
And so, the hero who was not walked into the maw of the demon realm, sword in hand and murder in his heart. The demon guards recoiled from the holy radiance, their instincts screaming that this was their doom.
They don't see me. They see the hero who killed their lord. Good.
As he strode through the black stone halls, centuries of memory crashed over him. Every conquest, every throne he'd seized, he knew every weakness of the fortress he built. It was like walking through his own tomb.
Take me to General Varric, now.
The demon soldier flinched, the holy sword's glow searing his eyes. He bowed and led the way.
Varric, the first pillar of my army. He will not suspect a thing.
The hero, alive? I will see this for myself.
Heavy doors swung open, revealing a chamber of fire and trophies, and the towering figure of General Varric.
Come then, let the slaughter begin.
Inside the fiery chamber, Varric sized up the hero with a warrior's scorn. His coal-like eyes traced the holy sword.
You killed our lord? Ha! You barely look strong enough to swing that toothpick.
Boast while you can. Your stance is the same as a century ago. You've learned nothing.
The demon lord fell because he grew soft. I'll tear you apart and claim his throne myself.
Then let me show you his final gift.
The holy sword ignited, and Sora lunged a blur of gold and white fury, forcing Varric to parry. Their blades crashed with shrieking steel. Varric's raw power was immense, but each swing left a fatal gap.
This body is still too slow, but my mind is a weapon. I know every weakness you ever had.
Sora slipped inside Varric's guard and drove the holy blade through his chest. The demon's roar became a wet, choking gurgle. He withdrew the sword. Varric crumpled into the dust. Without a backward glance, Sora walked out, first blood staining his hands. Word of the hero's victory raced ahead of him through the demon lands, and by the time Sora reached the kingdom gates, a sea of jubilant faces waited. They cheered his name, threw flowers in his path, and wept with relief. The boy who killed a demon general.
They see a savior. I see only the echoes of a past I am erasing with my own hands.
He accepted the king's praise and the medal pinned to his coat with the same practiced smile, feeling nothing. A soldier handed him a slim folder on the remaining generals. The folder detailed Miria, the second pillar, a seductive general who thrived on intrigue. She'd be harder to isolate than Varric.
Miria. I remember her. She always preferred poison to steel. She'll need a different kind of death.
That night, Sora paced alone in his chamber, the holy sword's glow, the only witness to the murder he was planning.
No allies, no hesitation. 6 months, and this army will be ash.
By dawn, he had the map of Miria's domain and a list of her routines. The next hunt was already underway, cold and certain.
Smile, wave, let them worship the hero. They'll never know the monster wearing his face.
Sora slipped into Miria's silk-draped domain, where shadows whispered of poison and secrets. She received him with a smile that promised alliance or a blade.
The hero from the fairy tales. I wondered when the kingdom's new pet would visit. General Varric underestimated you. I never underestimate anyone.
She's testing me. If I hesitate, she'll bury me before I draw.
His hand closed on the holy sword, and the chamber exploded in motion. Miria's bladed whip lashed out, but Sora had studied her patterns across decades. He moved before she committed. A single stroke, clean through silk and skin. Miria's shock froze before it could form a scream. He arranged her body, placed a broken dagger in her hand. The scene screamed attempted murder by a treacherous general. By the time her servants found her, the hero had already vanished. Another miracle survival on his record.
2 down. But the closer I get to the throne, the louder the silence becomes.
The weeks became months. Minor commanders fell one by one, each death swallowed by the kingdom's celebrations.
The silence in the mirror grows louder. Every night, the same dream, a girl's voice I can't forget.
His sister's face surfaced from the depths of 800 years. Reika, small and smiling in a field of black flowers.
Now she commands the last fortress, the strongest general, and the only one who ever made me hesitate.
He remembered the demon lord he had been, cold and absolute, except for her. She was the one cord he could never sever.
Why does her face stop my hand? I've killed countless, yet her memory makes the sword feel heavy. I cannot avoid her. The plan demands her death, but first, I have to see her face one more time.
He sent a single message through trusted channels. The hero requested a private audience with General Reika alone. No reply came for 3 days. Then, at dusk, a single word, "Come."
It's time. Reika, I pray you make this easy, but I know you won't.
The road to Reika's keep was a wound through dead lands, each step heavier than the last. Inside, the corridors breathed dust and old grief. Sora walked through the ashes of his own empire. In memory, Reika at 10 laughed, weaving a crown of black flowers.
She was the only light in our dark court. I promised I would never let her cry.
The present cut back, cold and sharp. His fingers tightened on the holy sword. At the end of the stone throat of the keep, a single door stood open, breathing cold light. He stepped through. She stood at the far window, a silhouette against the dying sun. Slowly, Reika turned, the shadows hiding her eyes. The air between them thickened.
8 centuries, and she's still standing. Why do I feel like the boy who left her behind?
Neither spoke. The weight of unfinished words pressed down on the chamber like a held breath.
The kingdom's hero. I wondered if you would dare face me alone. Have you come for my head as well?
She stepped closer, her violet eyes narrowing as they traced the scar on his jaw, the angle of his cheekbones.
Those eyes, crimson and violet like a dying sun. Only one demon ever looked at me with that light.
Her hand flew to her chest, her breath catching as the impossible truth seized her.
You are him, Kale. But I saw you die. I held you as the light faded.
She sees through the hero's face, the demon trace in my eyes. She never forgot it.
Brother, dear brother.
The word hung in the air, raw and absolute, cutting deeper than any blade.
Brother. She calls me brother. After all I've done, after all these centuries, that is still what I am.
And for the first time since wearing this skin, Sora felt the holy sword grow heavy in his frozen hand.
Kale, the sword that ended you, it was in my hand. I was the hero who killed you.
She sank to her knees, her voice splintering into a broken whisper.
An angel shackled my soul. It wore my skin and made me the instrument of your ruin. I remember the moment. I remember my hands moving, my heart screaming, but your eyes were gentle even as the light died.
The flashback seared through the chamber. Reika's eyes white, wings outstretched, driving the blade into her brother's chest.
After you fell, the angel abandoned me. I've haunted these halls for 800 years, wearing the shame of a murderer. I became a general to hold the army back from genocide, waiting for a miracle, waiting for you to somehow find your way home.
Her forehead touched the stone floor, tears pooling in the cracks.
Please, Kale. Tell me if there is any forgiveness left in the world for someone like me.
Sora stood silent, the holy sword shaking in his grip, her words carving deeper than any enemy's blade.
She blames herself for a blade she was forced to hold. We are both victims of the same cruel fate.
In the silence, the memory of a younger Reika, laughing in a field of black flowers, broke through his rage.
I came to destroy an enemy. Instead, I found the family I thought I'd lost. Revenge means nothing now.
The sword clattered to the stone. Sora dropped to his knees and reached across the cold floor, his arms closed around her, pulling her trembling frame against his chest as her sobs broke the silence. He felt the weight of her anguish, a mirror of his own, and held her tighter.
I forgive you, Reika. Whatever chains the angel put on you, they break here.
For a long moment, they wept without speaking. The grief of centuries finally given voice. Slowly, Reika's sobs quieted against his shoulder. When she looked up, something in her eyes had kindled again.
We are brother and sister again. But outside this room, two empires still demand our blood. What do we do now?
Sora lifted the holy sword from the floor and held it out toward Reika, hilt first.
Reika, the only peace both worlds will accept is my permanent death. Take this sword and finish what the hero started.
Reika's hand shot out and slammed the blade aside, the ring of metal cracking through the chamber.
No, I will not hold that blade against you again. I would sooner turn it on myself.
It's the only way. If I live, the demons will rise again under my shadow. The humans will never rest. This body is a lie.
Then we find another way. I did not wait 8 centuries to become your executioner a second time.
You are asking me to abandon the cleanest solution. What then? Run, hide while the world burns.
If hiding means you live, then yes. I choose you over thrones and nations.
The words hung between them, a fragile shield against the impossible choice. For a long moment, neither spoke. They were brother and sister again, but no path forward had yet revealed itself.
We'll dissolve both empires. I use my old authority to break the demon army, then fake the hero's death. You help stage the sacrifice. The kingdoms believe the threat is over. Then we vanish.
Will the demons obey a voice they think is dead? Will the humans accept a hero who disappears?
They'll scatter. I know every fracture. The humans will mourn but move on.
I'll do it. If we can end this war without more killing, I'll follow you anywhere.
They clasped hands. The holy sword became a symbol of shared burden, not conquest. Both sides would hunt them, but they chose each other over any throne.
The hardest lie I'll ever tell. But if it frees her, it's worth it.
8 centuries of guilt, and now a chance. I will not fail him again.
Side by side, they faced the fading light, bound by a promise to erase themselves from history. The remaining demon officers were summoned to the courtyard, their ranks thin but bristling with suspicion. From the high balcony, Sora and Reika looked down.
I am not the hero you fear. I am your true lord, Reborn. I command you to lay down your arms and disband.
A roar of disbelief and fury erupted. One officer, his face twisted with rage, broke from the ranks with a guttural roar. The demon lunged at the balcony. Reika intercepted, her blade singing. Sora's holy sword came down in a flash of gold, and the defiant officer crumpled at his feet.
I am done asking. The demon lord speaks through this body. Resist and you will all follow this fool.
The war is over. General Reika orders you to stand down. Obey your fallen lord's final command.
Silence. Then, one by one, the demons lowered their weapons and scattered into the shadows. Sora and Reika stood alone as the last clatter of demon armor faded. The army that had terrorized the world for 8 centuries was no more.
That was the first lie. Now the second, and the hardest. The hero must die.
Sora returned to the kingdom one last time, the hero's coat heavy on his shoulders. The cheering crowd did not know they were celebrating a ghost.
People of the kingdom, the demon army is no more. But peace demands one final sacrifice.
He climbed the temple steps, the holy sword blazing in the dying sun. From a shadowed alcove, Reika watched, her magic thrumming. A blinding golden flash erupted. When the light dimmed, the hero lay motionless, the holy sword planted beside him. The kingdom wept. They carried the fallen hero's empty shell to a mausoleum, never knowing the body was an illusion. That night, Reika lowered herself into the crypt. Sora rose from the false death, and together they slipped through a dark passage, never looking back.
The second lie is done. The world thinks we are both dead. Now there is only the silence of exile.
We owe nothing to either throne now. The silence will be our shield, and the wind our only witness.
Behind them, the holy sword stood alone in an empty crypt, its glow slowly dimming. The hero's legend ended there. By dawn, 2 figures walked a forgotten road into the wilderness, leaving kingdoms and thrones behind forever. In the kingdoms, confusion spread like morning fog. Both thrones sat empty, their rulers vanished without a word. Far from the clamor, Sora and Reika walked a deer path through an ancient forest, their fine clothes traded for rough wool.
Do you regret it? The empire, the conquests, this path we've chosen.
8 centuries of power. And the only moment I can't regret is the one where I chose her. I regret only that I couldn't save you sooner. Everything else was just noise.
Reika looked away, but the corners of her mouth lifted. It was the first real peace she'd felt in centuries. For a long while, they simply sat, the wind threading through the leaves, no demands, no titles, just the quiet.
This body is still the hero's, but the demon within is fading. I can feel the old bitterness draining like poison from a wound.
It was a fragile piece, built on a lie and a ghost, but for the first time it felt like hope. Two shadows slipped into the forest, leaving the remnants of an empire to the mercy of time. Days later, they found a lonely hill, crowned by a great oak, its branches like an open hand against the sky.
It's getting harder to hold on to this body. The hero's spirit is purging what doesn't belong.
He stopped walking and leaned against the old bark, his breath suddenly shallow.
Reika, the demon inside me is slipping away. The hero's flesh wants to be clean. I am dying, but not in pain.
Her face paled, but she did not weep. She had already mourned him once.
How long?
Maybe hours, maybe until the sun sets. I don't regret it. I got to save you this time.
She took his hand, her fingers cold but steady, and guided him to sit beneath the tree.
This time, I'll be the one holding on. I won't let you go alone.
Side by side, they watched the sky shift colors, a quiet vigil against the coming dark. The crimson light in his eyes flickered once, then dimmed to a quiet gray. His last breath came as a whisper. Her name, and a small, peaceful smile settled on his lips.
Sora. No, please don't leave me alone again.
She pulled him close, her tears falling onto his still face, rocking gently as the sky wept with them.
You are free now. No more war. No more guilt. Just the silence you gave us.
For a long moment, she held him, the world silent around them, the old oak sheltering their final vigil.
I promised I wouldn't let you go alone. I'll keep that promise. I'll live for both of us.
A tearful smile found its way through her grief, a fragile, fierce promise that his sacrifice would not be in vain. Sora's body lay peacefully in her arms, the hero's form finally at rest, the demon within scattered like smoke. Reika stayed there, wrapped in the silence, knowing she would rise when the dawn came and carry his memory forever. Before the world stirred, Reika slipped back into the silent crypt and took the holy sword, the last witness to his final lie, by the great oak. She dug a shallow grave with her bare hands, the soft earth giving way like forgiveness. She laid him to rest, his hands folded peacefully, the warrior's peace he never had in life. She covered him gently, patting the mound smooth, then drove the holy sword into the earth at the head of the grave. This blade stood sentinel, no longer a weapon of war, but a marker of quiet sacrifice.
Sleep, brother. The world won't know what you did, but I will remember until my last breath.
The first rays of dawn touched the golden blade, kindling a faint glow. Reika rose, her tears dry, and turned her back on the grave. She walked into the light, a solitary figure carrying only a promise. Behind her, the sword remained, and soon white flowers would bloom there, the only guard he would ever need. Years turned. The human kingdom forgot the war under the weights of harvests and new rulers. High on the hill, the great oak never forgot, and neither did the woman who returned each spring.
The world is loud, brother. They build statues to a hero who never was. But these flowers remember. The rain remembers. I remember.
She would sit for hours, telling him of new kings, of healed villages, of a world that would never know his name.
They never learned who truly saved them. That secret stays with the wind and me.
The holy sword, still gleaming, had become a quiet monument to an unseen grace. Reika would linger until dusk, then walk the old deer path back to a quiet cottage, her heart full of the silence he left. She lived a simple life, carrying no title but the one he gave her, sister. And every spring, the white flowers returned, the only witness the world needed. The hero's sacrifice became a legend etched in gold and tears, a story told in every corner of the kingdom. But the truth was quieter. It was buried beneath an ancient oak, guarded by a sister's vow and a blade that remembered. No chronicle recorded the demon lord who wore a hero's skin, nor the general who wept at his grave. The world moved on, building monuments to a phantom hero. But the hilltop knew better. Every spring, white flowers rose from the earth, and a lone figure stood in the wind. She carried no crown, no title. She carried the memory of a brother who saved a world that would never know his name, and that was enough. The kingdoms never knew who saved them. They only knew the sun rose again, and the long night was over. Fame and glory were for other names. For Kale and Reika, the only legacy that mattered was the silence between them. Finally, a peace without a lie. Thus ended the reign of the Demon Lord and the hero who was never meant to be. The first light of dawn crept over a world without war, painting the sky in shades of forgotten hope. On the hill, the holy sword caught the sun and sang a silent note of gold, a hymn for the unsung. White petals stirred in the breeze, the only company the blade would ever need, and the only witness it desired. A single petal loosened from its stem, drifting on an unseen current, as if even nature paused to remember. It spiraled down, weightless, carried by the same wind that once bore the ashes of an empire and the tears of a sister. It came to rest on the pommel, soft against the cold metal, a fragile kiss on a warrior's grave. The ancient oak watched, its leaves rustling a quiet amen, a benediction for the peace hard won. No armies marched, no thrones demanded tribute. The land breathed deeply, healed of its wounds. Only silence remained, fragile, sacred, and lasting, the truest victory the world would never know. And the sun continued to rise, indifferent to glory, as the petal held its place, and the story ended. And so the tale draws to a close, the story of the Demon Lord who wore a hero's face, a story of sacrifice, of a sister's grief, and of a peace forged in the silence of a lie. In the end, the world never learned the truth, but the truth never needed a witness to be real. This was the reign of the Demon Lord Reborn, an empire of shadows undone by its own creator, and the hero who was never meant to be, a vessel for a bloody purpose, found his true end in a sister's arms. No statues will ever mark their names. No songs will be sung, yet the fields grew again, and the children laughed. That was the only victory they needed. Manga Dub. The Demon Lord Reborn, as a hero, decides to destroy his own dark army. Thus ended the reign of the Demon Lord, and the hero who was never meant to be.